Hello everyone, welcome back to my Timberborn series. We are now in the middle of a bad tide, and I think overall it looks pretty good. We have 500 food, almost 600 water. We have paused these two water pumpers, so we're gonna empty all of this up. But I think overall we need to plan a little bit ahead. So first of all, let's make sure we have a few more options at least to grow some food. So initially I thought about just cutting these down with a lumberjack, but I don't think that's a necessity right now. We do have our smelter up here, but without the power wheel there's no need for them to actually work on it. So these steps here, or this path here, is currently on pause as well, and that's good because our beavers would get contaminated. So far we've made it through the seasons without any of our beavers really getting contaminated, which is great. So I'm going to pause the builder's hut over here, just so we get a few of beavers in the hauling post. And considering the amount that we are actually building at the moment, which is not that much to be honest for now, I think it's good to sort of refocus our efforts. I am spotting an empty spot over here, so I'm going to plant a oak tree in here. And we're also going to focus now on deleting this path that we had initially put in, because we're going to fill this part up with additional farmers or farmhouses. So let's first, similar to the areas over here, well, this one area over here, we're gonna put a path in just there. And then we're going to place a farmhouse facing this way. So the next food that we want to create is soybeans. Nope. Yeah, actually we do want to create some more soybeans, but we might not actually put them in here. Well, our construction folks are really fast. So instead, let's focus on something else. So what else can we give them as a quick construction? So we do want to store even more water, and which means we want to start thinking about the large tank. And we only have 150 science, but I think that will change pretty soon. So I think this area here would actually be great for 2 of these large water tanks, just to keep it close to our pumping stations, and later on we can still put an additional one up there. So in order to do that, we're going to fill this up, not all the way apparently. We're going to fill this up with our platforms, on top of which we can then build our water tanks. All right, back to thinking about this. So we do want some soybeans. I think we have a decent amount of cassavas. We probably have a bit too many of the berries, but I think overall that will do. So we will put our soybeans right here next to our new farmhouse. And I'm putting these over here, so all 3 farmhouses can actually start picking them up. I mean, they've planted all of them, so that means they can also pick them as things move along. We are starting to collect some mangrove fruit, and they're already gone. Oh no, they're in the storage area, and our well-being is now to 13, which is great. So overall, our beavers are not doing too bad. They're still building all of this, and look at the platforms are almost done. I think we need to consider putting at least one beaver back into the inventor's hut, just to make sure we are producing a bit more science. Now let's look at this. Campfire is pretty okay, not that much. There's not that much space in the campfire. So I think what we're going to do in addition is gonna place a second campfire down just over here, and we're going to make this look a little bit nicer by putting a shrub in the middle, and maybe later on we put the braziers and maybe a beaver bust in there as well, just to, you know, make this area a little bit more appealing. So having done all this, we're already halfway through our drought. I'm gonna slow this, actually I don't need to slow this down. Now we can pause our water pumpers here. Going to put them straight into the inventor huts. We just need to keep an eye on these water pumpers. Actually, they're not using any water at the moment. So right now we're actually in the process of just using up all of our water. But we do want to expand. In order to make things go a little bit faster, we are going to put another breeding pod down. With the additional, hopefully soon up and running, additional food supply, we should be okay overall. I would hope so, at least. And now that we actually have some soybeans growing, we need to also put down a fermenter. And this is where this area comes in quite nicely, because we left some space for it. So they're already building this, and they have already finished building the campfire, which is great. So our beavers, our builders are actually doing a pretty good job at moving things forward. So 4.5 days left. It's actually not that long. Our water supply down here looks okay. We're still at 530 water. So I think overall we will be doing fine. I am going to pause this guy now. I'm gonna put it on him on soybeans though, as soon as we're like restarting the process. And I've also put in our breeding pod. So a couple of things that we need to think of as well is additional housing now. So I think each breeding pod breeds about 10 beavers, or like maintains 10 beavers. So we will need additional houses to, well, house them. So, but I do want to keep a bit of that center area free for additional decorations and maybe future monuments. So this is a 2x2. This is also a 2x2. This is a 3x3, but I don't think this should be down there. Meaning if our buildings are all 2x2, we can just expand our houses over this way, connect it up all the way, and this way. Hold on. We do need to actually set them back at least once, because we want to put some decoration in front of them. All right, so I'm glad I noticed this now and not when they were basically done. What about the big, oh, this is a 3x3. Would be nice to have. Do we need it right now? Not really. I'd rather save our science for other things that we kind of need to do. All right, having put this in, and it's already built. Beavers are quick at the moment. Let's see, what else can we think of? Our water is at 418. Now this is getting a little bit low down here. All the water up there has already evaporated. We're at 2.5 days, which I guess is not too bad. Yeah, with 415 water, we should have our 25 beavers survive until the water comes back. So I am actually raising this back up to the height that it's supposed to be. We just need to keep an eye overall on our water supply. So next thing, like I said, we do want to look into the large storage. This takes 600 science. So we are creating science, but we're still a bit far off. Now I actually need to lower this just to make sure our plants won't die ultimately. And I am actually going to lower this as well, just to even it all out. Nice little benefit, we got a little bit of electricity boost, even though it's not that much. Probably didn't actually need it. Okay, so Bad height almost over. We do need to put a storage area up here. So we're going to do this next. Let's put another large industrial pile in here. Set it to metal blocks. So as soon as the water starts flowing, we will actually start producing metal blocks. And then we can finally start building some, what are they called, sluices? I think that's how you pronounce that. So that, I think, overall will be working pretty okay. One beaver is injured, and he is recovering. Poor little guy. Look at his leg already in a cast, or maybe just wrapped up, bandaged up. But he's sleeping, so, you know, he'll recover. After he had a drink, apparently. Either way, we're in a good spot. We made it through this bad tide pretty well. Our soybeans should be almost grown. And I think we could actually put our cassava producer back on. Nope, I'm gonna pause this again because we have 9 vacancies right now, which means there's only 1 hauler in this building. And that's something that we shouldn't let go down too much. What I am actually going to do here is remove this bit over here, so we can actually put our, no, hold on, we don't actually need, but let's leave it open. Future decorations, maybe we do something else. I was thinking we can move this guy down here and sort of start expanding the area that we're harvesting, but we can do that either way. All right, bad tide's over. I am going to start our water pumpers now, even though that gets us a little bit more in a deficit of how many beavers we have for building. We're now actually overproducing gears and starting to store them. Let's see how this is going. I think this is good enough now to open this up. While there is quite a bit of bad water at the front, I'm hoping that it will be diluted overall after it, you know, mixes with everything. So night is starting, which means none of the beavers should actually be walking over here. All of our plants are looking okay. So overall, I think we're in a good shape. And that means I can pause this now. So now we definitely have 2 of our haulers again. Although I am actually going to start our water pumpers over here just until we have filled up all of our water storage areas. Okay, building lacks workers. Yep, that makes sense. We are going to, I think, pause one of these guys. I was just going to say to put him up here. But apparently somebody grew up. That was a bit strange. I feel like somebody had died. Anyways, we do need to produce iron, and we should probably keep producing scrap metal, although this is currently full, so I think we're gonna leave that as it is right now. And I am going to raise these back up, so we ultimately have some more water storage up here. The next thing that we're also going to do is unpause these, both of these, and hope to get these built pretty fast so that when the next bad tide comes, it won't actually flow in here, and then we can demolish these blockages and store even more water up here. I think that'll be great. So with this, we're doing overall okay. They have not fully managed to cut down these trees. It's probably a little bit too far from the path. So let's fix this like that and cut down these other 2 trees. Still got a good amount of food, still got a good amount of water, and this is going up now, which is excellent. And with that, we need to, again, start planning more into the future. So now we're building metal blocks, and we already have one, which I think we're immediately going to use to maybe even destroy these. So in order to get up here to build them up again, we now need to have a secondary path up there. Because initially we were just walking straight forward to get to this, which is not possible anymore. We're gonna put the steps over here, connect this through here, and with that, let's actually see how well they're doing. It's a drought next time, which I think is, again, not too bad. Maybe we will be able to open this up to store a bit more water moving forward. Should be able to increase this to 1.5, right? And yes, I was able to increase this to 1.5. What about 1.55? Water is still flowing over here. So what if I put this on 1.55 as well? Water is still flowing through here, so I think overall we're doing okay. This is definitely producing more than enough for our smelter, which is good. And we now have 5 metal blocks. So, all in all, I think we're doing okay. They have not built on the stairs yet. They're still working on this part here. And we might actually be able to fill up this area just before the drought hits. Once the drought hits, we'll focus again on more of our well-being. What else would we need to do? So we are growing our beaver population. We are increasing somewhat. I should actually unpause these. We are increasing somewhat our food production. Let's see, soybeans collected, great. Decent amount actually, so creating both of these for like fermenters will be doing us some good. So we do need to think about where to put additional storage, and maybe we could just build it up top. So for that we do need ultimately a staircase that goes up in some direction, and it would be nice to have the path over here, but we still need, like I said, this. Actually, we could just span from here into this direction. Not entirely sure yet what we're gonna do with this area here. So instead of putting these up there for now, we could actually, and hold on, slowing this down, because we do need to check how far they have gotten. They have gotten, well, not too far to be honest. So this is built, but all of this is still lacking. Still 0.7 days, which means we could open this up already. This is very risky. 0.5 days, so I don't think we'll open this up right now. But once the drought ends and we're like in a good spot again for the next wave, then we can open this up and ultimately we'll be doing, well, hopefully better. Okay, so back to the topic. We need more storage. So medium warehouse, it doesn't actually fit here like that, but we can put it over here like this and put fermented soybeans, fermented cassavas, fermented soybeans over here. Oh. Pause. Oh, I didn't want to pause anymore, so apologies for that. So this is still going okay. Why was this on 0? I had forgotten to raise this to 0.55. We have lost a little bit of water in our storage. Our drought is only 11 days, so we will be fine. Going to pause the stuff that needs power over there, as it's not producing any power. And here actually they are done with the levee over here. So we are already gonna demolish this. While spreading it out is probably not the smartest idea right now, because it will dilute how much water we have stored, and I think the evaporation is proportional to the surface area. Which makes sense, right? It's a logical thing. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now we do have this build. We have 10 iron blocks or metal blocks in storage. Let's think what we want to do. So this is already down to basically 0. And now this is all gone on this side. We will, whoa. I did not expect this to happen in this direction, or not this much at least. So a little bit of bad water was over here. I did not think it would dilute, or well, dilute so little, to be honest, with our regular water. So I think that means, actually I should stop these from pumping. because we need the water for our food supply. And I am going to pause one of these as well. So we have a continuous trickle in of water, but we have almost 1,000 water for 10 days. We're definitely okay. All right, so food production okay, beaver population slowly increasing, which is also okay. Water is okay. So overall, our beavers are doing, well, okay. Well, let's think about an exercise plaza, because we want to improve their well-being. And I think an exercise plaza where they can almost overlook everything would be awesome. And maybe we could even put it up here, so they have direct access from their houses. You know what? We're gonna do that. So in order to have a bit more space to build it out, we're gonna put another warehouse over here, even though it currently has nothing to store. Let's put it on fermented mushrooms, I guess. That might be the next thing that we're going to build. And then we're going to fill all of this up. And I think it's a 4x4 building with platforms, so we can build on top. So let's look again into the well-being. Exercise plaza, it is not a 4x4 building, it is a 5x5 building. So we're gonna need one more over here. And I think ultimately we do wanna create some decorations up here, and maybe ultimately in the long run over here as well. So having said all of this, let's actually look. Exercise plaza 400 signs, we can definitely do that. So let's put this up here. I am going to put one more platform on either side of those. And then we're going to put in, again, under well-being, under decorations. Let's actually put in braziers, one here and one here, just to light this up. And the next thing, we're just gonna fill this up with one tree right next to it. I'm so glad there is no real fire going on over here in Timberborn. But I think this will look quite nice and will definitely fulfill some of the needs that we have. I think now it's also time that we remove this building from here and put it closer to where it belongs. So we're going to put a single platform here, a double platform here, put in a staircase and a path, and then put in a large industrial pile to store more logs over here. This we're also going to just stop from storing these, which will ultimately be good for us, as they will now start moving these out, kind of filling up this one and hopefully filling up this one in the long run. It is insane how quickly our beavers, look at this guy. Wasn't that a baby beaver? Standing in front of everyone, it's like dancing off. Very fun. Why does he not have shelter? Oh, they have 9 empty beds. Maybe he was just born. Yep, H1. That checks. So we do have a lot of beavers in, well, not a lot maybe, but some beavers in here now. So the next thing, we kind of want to mirror this from this side over to the other side, just to make sure our beavers get the benefit from these decorations as they sleep. Okay, great. So we've planned a lot more of stuff, and our beavers are happily, and they're already done with this too. They are so fast, which I'm actually very excited about, which means we must have, look at this, goals 16, great. But we do have our beavers, let's actually look at this like this. We have one exercising in the front and everybody else following along in unison. It's very iron teeth, which is, you know, good for the health. Speaking of which, plenty of science studies suggesting that even half an hour per day of walking will have massive benefits for your health. So if you can, you know, try to incorporate that into your life. Not that I'm trying to preach, but it quickly comes up, you know, or like comes together. Just going for a coffee run during work, there you have 10 minutes. Maybe you don't pick the coffee place the closest to your workplace just to get a bit more exercise in, but highly recommended. And the mental break, really good for your health too. All right, so they are not doing anything with this. You know what? I'm just gonna delete this now so they can start moving these over. Okay, so with that, I think we're in a pretty good position. Once the drought ends, we are going to end this episode because I think we're already working on this, or have been working on this for quite a while. So one more thing that I want to make sure, the path for this should be over here, which just again for symmetry's sake, which will also allow us to put another storage house over there. Make sure I put this in the right direction. Yes, I did. Very glad about this. So otherwise I would have just messed this up. He can't actually ferment these. He needs canola oil. So I'm going to pause this guy. Should have checked before. But that brings us back to planting more things. So we do have a farmhouse over here. We do need to put some canola oil in there. And then we do need to produce canola oil, well, somewhere. So actually back here could be a really nice spot because it will be directly connected to this and through that connected to all of these. So let's do that. Let's remove these and look at what the canola oil press, I think it's called. 120 science. Perfect. So let's start building this here. We already do have enough of all the resources that we need to build it, which is great. We also do need to think of a canola oil storage area. And would you look at that? Wouldn't that be a great spot for canola oil storage? But in addition, I actually want to expand this a little bit more. Remove one of the rows of berries back here so we can plant a few more of the cassavas. We are running a little bit low on these, although there are still 38 in here. So overall, I think we will be okay. So beaver's happy. 4 days in the drought. There's only a little bit of water left here. I think the majority of the bad water has now evaporated, so I'm going to open this up for now. And you know what, we're gonna let a little bit of the water through to the bottom part. Oh, that's not a lot of water that we have left in here, but I think overall it will do. Still have 750 water for our beavers to drink. Don't need this guy anymore at the moment because there's no water on the back here. And again, just need to keep an eye on this. Probably need to think about planting more mangroves. And I think the problem with this guy was he wouldn't reach here, and this guy reaches actually one more area back here. So we are going to fill this up with mangroves, mangrove trees. Here we go. Double checking. Excellent. Which gives us 5 more of these to produce some more food. All right, like I said, this is already done. We don't have currently any of the canola ready to be pressed, or the canola seeds ultimately. I think it's created from seeds. Something that I should probably look up at some point. But overall, I think we're in really good shape, to be honest. Still plenty of food. Happiness, pretty well off, enough water. We're now up to 32 beavers. And I think in the long run, we do want to expand this more. Maybe we'll do that actually in the next episode. We have opened this up, so we have additional storage over here. And I think we can, what we need now is more metal. But our metal is heavily dependent on this. So what can we do actually to improve this instead of having to wait every single time? for the drought basically to end. We also don't have any energy production if the bad tide hits us over here. So maybe we actually block this off, make the flow mostly in this direction for both the bad tides and the regular water, and then use this area for power production. I think that could be quite good. And you know what? We're going to do this. So now I don't need to, no, I still need to keep this kind of up, because I want the regular water to be able to flow easily in this direction. Or do I? Oh, what would make most sense? Maybe actually instead of thinking of all of this, we should go up here and also to this bad tide source or bad water source, and also start thinking about creating some dynamite so we can actually blow this out. Okay, almost our plants died, almost, I think. Yep, they're back up and healthy, great. Still one more day to go. I think I can actually open this all the way now without it over tipping. These are not pumping right now, still 500 water here. So I think overall we're doing okay. Back to doing okay. So let's see how long this lasts, because the last time apparently didn't last so long. Alright, so let's think about how do we get up here. I think if we expand our path all the way to the end here, we can put a single staircase up there, put another one up there, and then basically walk all the way over here. And then start building up from here. So this might be a good idea. Let's see, there needs to be at least one over here, and then we can put a path around here. Maybe not even a path all the way around here, but just from start building up here and here, and then see how we manage to get over this way. 17 happiness, excellent. Getting better and better, which is good to see. So let's actually start doing this. Now drought ended, which means we're also going to lower these floodgates so stuff can immediately flow through, top this up, and then we're in a good shape. Look at that, we only have, no, now that somebody is injured, we have one open working slot, but turning all of these back on, and you know what, turning all of these back on, we're from having 9 haulers to having 1 hauler. Excellent. So overall, I still think not too bad. We only used up about half of our water storage in that time that our beavers were working here. I'm going to put one more beaver in there, and maybe I'm going to pause this again. Just so, again, it's good to have some haulers. It will be a bit more efficient because they can carry more than our regular beavers can do. And this is actually now filling up more in this direction, which I guess will be good just to flush it out and sort of dilute all of the bad water as much as possible. With this drought, I think a lot of it has also evaporated, which is again good. Where are they going? What are they building? Oh, they're not building anything. They're just putting stuff into this building. And we should unpause our scavenger flag just so we make sure we're producing more of the scrap metal. One thing that we had said that we wanted to build is a sluice, and we're going to do this right now. We do have enough signs, or I really hope we do have enough signs. I should have checked before. And we do have enough signs. And why can't it go in that direction? Because the wheel is in the way. Excellent. So we're gonna put one over here, and then we're gonna keep the path basically passing in this direction. Which also means I'm not gonna destroy this right away. Maybe I should actually destroy this right away. So much for that. Let's start stocking up some water. The water is flowing out over there. So we can put this up to 1.5, this up to 1.55, we said. And I hope they build this real fast. But I think overall this will be doing just fine. We do have quite a high water output, which is great. And power output, and I didn't think they actually went up this much. No, I guess it says 270 horsepower per cubic meter squared, even though I don't quite understand this. There must be a different abbreviation, the CMS. But either way, let's focus on this. Once this is in, I can actually already raise this up. Will that actually increase our power output? Nope, that reduced it, which I guess makes sense. Not that much water is flowing through here. But our beavers definitely need to get to this, and this is probably a good time to unpause my second builder hut, just to make sure that we build this before the drought hits us again. So this was a quick first drought, and I just realized I wanted to pause at the end of the drought. So I'm gonna pause as the drought hits here. And I think I should stop always like doing this stuff when the drought hits. You know what? They're almost done with building this. So I am going to demolish this, and I am going to put in the same part over here. Levee, putting this on highest priority as well. And we're going to say close this above the contamination of 5% upstream. I think this is fine. Close this. Nope, I just want it to be open all the time. What are our beavers doing? They are sleeping. I guess fair enough. They should be sleeping. Sleep is important too. Especially when you're trying to do something academic. Why are you sat on your butt? Oh, there you go. Now run. There's plenty of stuff to build up here. All the metal blocks are almost in. Just almost. We do need, I think, 2 more. Still got a few more hours left. 1 more metal block. Come on, you can do it. And once that metal block is in, they can start building up this part here. Come on. What's taking so long? There we go. All right, and this is synchronized with the one right next to it, which is great. So now our water will actually not flow back out. We do have this high enough. We now can actually think of raising this up over here as well. If we stack up sort of the blockage over here to 2 levels, we can even direct the bad water flow in this direction so it doesn't impede too much the side over here. And again, drought has hit. And with that, I thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.